The search for a missing woman in Harford County may have come to an end this afternoon. The Harford County Sheriff's Department found the body of a woman in Bel Air at a local trail. WMAR 2 News' Janae Wright is on the scene right now. Janae, what information can you tell us?
So we're hoping people will take a close look at it.
This suspect caught on video in L.A. after police say it appears he randomly committed a home invasion and assaulted a young woman inside the home in March. Watch as he leaves. A hand appears closing the door behind him. This is the man deputies believe murdered Rachel because they found his DNA at both crime scenes.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody, where we cover true crime, mystery to the missing. Back on August 5th of 2023, Rachel Morin went for her usual walk at the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air, Maryland during the evening. After not returning later that evening, her boyfriend had called to report her missing. That next day, locals went out to search for Rachel. And sadly, Rachel, who was just 37 years old and a mother of 5, would be found brutally murdered. She was found naked and severely beaten. The monster responsible for her demise had not been identified.
The search for a missing woman in Harford County may have come to an end this afternoon. The Harford County Sheriff's Department found the body of a woman in Bel Air at a local trail. WMAR 2 News' Janae Wright is on the scene right now.
Mallory, honestly, we have limited information at this time. What we do know is that a search was being conducted for a missing woman in the area, the woman by the name of Rachel Morin. Now, at around 1:07 p.m. today, a woman's body was located off of the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air. So far, the sheriff's office has said the cause of death and the identity of the woman's body is still being investigated. The sheriff's office was initially conducting a search after reporting 37-year-old Rachel Morin was missing around 6 p.m. last night.
Almost 2 weeks later, the media would be notified that DNA found at Rachel Morin's crime scene had been a match to a crime that took place nearly 6 months prior in March, all the way across the U.S. in Los Angeles, California, during a separate incident. The public also got a look at some door cam footage from that incident that took place months prior, where we see the suspect exiting a home in Los Angeles. All we knew at the time is that this was some kind of home invasion that took place, and that this suspect was the same one who was responsible for Rachel Morin's grisly homicide.
The victim or someone else who was there during the attack. This is the man deputies believe murdered Rachel because they found his DNA at both crime scenes.
But what the public didn't know at the time is what exactly went down at the home in Los Angeles. But nearly 6 months later, Harford County Sheriff's Office released new details regarding that incident that happened in Los Angeles, as well as releasing a new sketch to the public of the suspect believed to be responsible for both incidences. So we are going to dive deeper into what happened in March of 2023 at the home in Los Angeles and how they connected it to Rachel Morin's homicide and how the public can help. We will be taking clips from a podcast from the local law enforcement which share new details in the 2 cases.
We think, we know there's people out there who still need to be caught up, so a little bit about what happened 6 months ago.
Yes, sir. So the sheriff's office began this investigation when we received a phone call about a missing mother, that she had gone for a run that evening and she didn't return. Her children, who were younger children, one of them a teenager and the other one under that age, were left at home, and that wasn't like her. She normally would leave for a run in the evenings and be home within 45 minutes. So when she didn't return, a friend of hers called the sheriff's office and said that they were concerned for her well-being and they didn't know where she was. The sheriff's office, of course, started looking right away and tried to find Miss Morin, and what they located right away was Rachel's vehicle at a trailhead along a popular trail here in Harford County called the Ma and Pa Trail. At this point, it was probably about later evening, 10 o'clock in the evening, and it was concerning that her vehicle would still be there because although she frequently ran that trail, she would not have been there that late into the evening. So that began a large-scale search through the Ma and Pa Trail and the surrounding area, which ultimately, unfortunately, led to the discovery the following morning of Rachel's remains.
And I remember that day, obviously, very.
Off along the side of this trail, there are two large drainage culverts that run under a local highway. Those drainage culverts are hidden during the summertime by trees and shrubbery, and aren't something that most people would see. I myself have been down that trail many times, and I wasn't aware that those culverts were there. In this instance, we could see from the scene that Rachel was ultimately attacked on the trail. That area of the trail, there was a bend in the trail that most likely was used by the individual who committed this crime, who attacked Rachel on the trail, pulled her through the wooded area into this drainage culvert where she ultimately lost her life.
And this is a little bit of information we've kind of held close to the chest, if you will, that we haven't released as far as what the actual location of the homicide was. So we are, again, as we hit the 6-month mark.
Specifically, which was a home invasion, is how I would describe it right now. And in that instance, that suspect left behind a hat. And that hat was collected by the Los Angeles Police Department, and DNA was located on that hat, and that DNA was entered into CODIS. When we entered our sample in from our crime scene, those two matched. So that allowed us ultimately to be able to recover video evidence that showed us who our suspect was, which we hadn't seen, and allowed us to link two crimes that occurred on opposite sides of the country.
And I do believe that's another specific piece of information that we've kind of not been, that we have not released previously, as far as it being a hat that did we release that before?
We have publicly commented on
hat.
that. Yes.
Okay, and I knew that the public knew that we had recovered DNA, or I should say, Los Angeles Police Department recovered DNA. Can you tell us more about what happened in Los Angeles? And I know that is not our investigation, and we certainly cannot speak on behalf of the Los Angeles Police Department. But as you said earlier, that's an active investigation by that police department. So we've been, I guess, limited in what we are going to say or should say, since another police department has a serious crime that they are also investigating. But what can you share? Obviously, the video came from there. What else can you share about that scene out there?
That crime that occurred there was also a violent attack. There's nothing that we know right now that would point us to the belief that it was anything other than a random attack. There were multiple people within that home who were injured, and there were minor children who were injured as well in that attack. I think that case, along with this case, highlight how dangerous this individual is and how important it is to locate him.
Okay, so go on a little bit with what we can discuss from that crime scene in Los Angeles. Is there more that we can speak about?
I think we could say that I think people who have seen the video we released, which is obviously from Los Angeles. This individual approached a residence in the city of Los Angeles and entered that residence. He didn't live there. He was not known to the residents. And after entering the home, I don't want to get into a whole lot of details other than to say that he violently and physically attacked multiple people, to include a child, that were hurt during that incident. And that, again, I think it just goes to the dangerousness and the need for us to be able to track this person down before he harms someone else.
Sure, and this is something else I get a lot of questions about and have spoken about, the escalation from what happened there in March. Again, we don't know whether he's there, where he might lay his head at night, but we do know from March till August, he certainly escalated in violence and moving from assault, even serious, but to taking a life. The other questions I get related to Los Angeles and the cameras themselves are kind of twofold, and maybe I'll throw them both out there and see what you say, because one is we have the video footage of the Ring doorbell camera of him departing and the manner in which he departs, which does not seem in most people's views to be the way that someone found in your home illegally assaulting people would be exiting a residence. And if we have him going out, why don't we have him coming in? And when I say we, it's again, that's the Los Angeles crime scene.
Yes, sir. The reason you can't see him entering the home is because the doorbell camera, obviously, like we all have these doorbell cameras now in modern society, are only placed on generally the area of the front door. Without going into how this gentleman entered the home or the suspect entered the home, he did not enter through the front door and wouldn't have been captured by the doorbell camera. As far as the manner in which he exited the house, we've received comments through tip lines about that too. And I think we all have to take a step back sometimes and realize that this person entered a home. He, in the middle of the night, violently attacked a family, and that family reacted. They were scared. There was a lot of yelling going around at the time, and they forced him from the home. I think people oftentimes believe that this family should have held this person there, or they should have, in some way tried to stop him. And I think that's not always possible, and that this attack was stopped by a member of that family, who I think acted in the best interest of everyone there and did everything that he could do to get that person out of the home. And ultimately, I think, although he did escalate his crime, as we were just saying, between here in Maryland and in California, I think had that crime not been interrupted in California, it most likely would have ended the exact same way our crime ended here.
That's
the arm in the video is the suspect, when he's in the home, winds up assaulting two family members who were unable to defend themselves. A third family member, who is a younger person, enters that room and manages to surprise the suspect and begin to force him out of the home. As the suspect flees the home, this individual, who is frightened and is scared and is a younger person and doesn't understand why someone's in his home attacking his family members, the suspect, other people in the home begin to wake up. And he realizes now that there's multiple people in the home. They're yelling at him. He's trying to just exit the home. So as soon as he leaves the door, that younger person who actually interrupted the crime scene slams the door shut and locks it, and then immediately calls the police. So again, we've heard this a lot too, and I understand people are trying to help, but it's a difficult situation that young man went through. And I think he did everything he could to try to protect his family, and he just wanted the suspect out of his home. And then as soon as he left, locked the door and called the police for assistance. So the suspect looks like. So in order to get the best quality we could, we utilized witnesses in California who were assaulted by the suspect. We used witnesses here in Harford County. And then we also used one artist to combine to interview each one of these people, and then that same artist to look at our video and be able to try to put all of that together to give us the closest that we could possibly get to what the suspect looks like. And then after that, we took that sketch and we talked to other witnesses who didn't maybe see the person as well and weren't confident in making a sketch, but did see the person, and asked them, does this sketch look like the suspect that you saw? So that we were sure that we had as large a group as possible who we knew saw this person look at this sketch and say, yes, this is similar to what the person I saw looks like.
And a great way to get the public involved in catching this predator is to share this video and the information. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Please smash that like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Please consider supporting this channel by becoming a member, and thank you so much for watching.